Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm making this video today because I feel that many young women have been severely misguided when it comes to intimacy. I'm going to be using that word because I don't really want to get demonetized for saying sex too much. So that's going to be the placeholder term that you're going to hear me using throughout the duration of this video. Sure, there is more information out there on intimacy than there ever has been before. But I feel like much of that information is centered around pleasure in a more explicit sense. Like in this video, I'm not here to coach you through any specific act or anything. I more so want to focus on the things that happened before about attraction, how to understand it, how to be sensual. And I feel like there's a gap in all of the information that we consume, especially online, about intimacy. Girls today are being told that they can have relations with whomever and whenever, but I feel like they're not really being told how to enjoy the experiences outside of the act itself. I mean, whatever happened to seduction? What happened to the pleasure that you can receive without actually performing an intimate act? And what about how you feel? What about what you think is sexy or attractive? And what about the situations that are stimulating for you? I personally blame the media and film for such disillusionment, of course. A lack of education on sensuality is what I believe is missing from the discourse. This is why I believe that many women still feel alienated during intimacy, even though they're being told that they have all the power in the world and they can do whatever they want. And so by making this video, I want to bridge that gap, and I want to have more of a conversation on sensuality and self-awareness. I have a few points that I want to discuss that I feel that every mama or surrogate mama, such as a public figure like myself, should include in the conversation on intimacy. And now, even though this video is geared towards women, this information should be beneficial for both sexes. Both sexes should listen up. This video is also part 1 of 2, so stay tuned in the coming weeks for more points that I feel warrant inclusion. The first thing that I want to talk about is probably the most important thing. This is borderline on the conversation of consent. I and so many women, almost every woman I have talked to, has dealt with the issue of feeling obligated to do things when you're not really into it. I'm not even going to go into the conversation about unwanted intimate interactions. I'm just talking about interactions, okay? This is probably the most common and upsetting tendency we have as people. I have done this. Pretty much every woman I've ever talked to has done this. You and this guy are hanging out, okay? Maybe you've had a few drinks or whatever, and the guy leans in to initiate, and you go for it because you feel like it's what you should do or what you have to do. Maybe it turns out fine. Most of the time, it turns out Stop that right there. Don't do that. Intimacy is never casual, okay? You are doing the most intense physical act, the most vulnerable act you can with another person, and oftentimes with a stranger. You should be sure that you want to do it. This is why I suggest a prolonged period of seduction before intimate acts, so when it comes down to that moment, you are more than eager to engage. More than eager. There is no question about it. It should be a hell yeah, not a sure, yeah, all right, okay, I guess. Ladies, please listen to your body. And men, please, pretty please, become familiar with body language and cues. They're right there in front of you. You just need to pay attention. Both of you should be sure. I'm just saying this so you guys can both have the best experience possible. That being said, your first time with somebody that you're not already involved with is oftentimes less than you expected it to be. Sometimes it's awesome, but most of the time it kind of falls off a little bit. There's a lot of mental and physical factors that contribute to a first time, and even the best lovers can leave you disappointed. There's a lot that goes into it. So it's important to mention that everyone deserves a second chance, and you should pursue it again if you think there's potential, if there's desire there. But again, pursue it because you want to, not because it's convenient, because you feel you don't have any other options, or because you feel obliged. It's better not to be intimate with someone than to have a partner or partners because you feel that's what's normal or it's what is expected. If you aren't bursting at the goddamn seams for somebody, stay home. Read a book. Get a good night's rest. Intimacy with somebody should elevate you, not make you feel like you're getting the bare minimum or less. And this is a problem with the mentality of men, is that a lot of men just want to have steady, consistent intimacy, which does not really leave much room for very good ones. And a lot of men just want to have intimate interactions frequently, and it has nothing to do with quality. And I think a lot of women do this too. And it shouldn't be like that. Your intimate interactions should be awesome, even if they are few and far between. So let's go back to the scenario that I posed before. You're hanging out with somebody, they approach you, and this is a very important cue here. If the advance feels out of the blue, unwarranted, like the setup wasn't sufficient, push it off. Give them a kiss on the cheek and tell them to wait a little bit. Don't run away and go home. Just say let's hang out for a little bit. That way you have more time to get the energy going. The advances should come naturally. They shouldn't be forced. If you gently push someone away, let them know that you're into them, but you just need a little bit more time, to get the energy going, that person will understand. If they don't understand, then you probably should not sleep with that person, because odds are that person will look at this intimate experience as transactional. And that is not somebody you want to go to bed with. That's a red flag. You do not owe anyone anything. Now, I understand, and this is particularly why this happens all the time. I understand it's a hard thing to do, to push that person away. And it's weird, you probably just that person maybe just wants you to leave or something like that. Just get over it, watch a film, do whatever, okay? Sure, we're social creatures, we're people pleasers, we want to do everything amicably, but sometimes you just have to put your foot down. When it comes to intimacy, do not let things slide and give way to a subpar experience. You should be eager and receptive to advances, both of you. I know it sounds like common sense, but intimacy is not logical, and those interactions where you have to push back can seem harsh, but you have to. And I seriously implore, if you're new to this world, okay, I seriously implore you to have some self-awareness of knowing when you're in the mood and when you're not. And men, any advance that you give should seriously be warranted, okay? Any shy girl will still give you body language cues that she's into you, even if she's not the one that will approach you. I personally blame films for teaching people these fake and surface level cues that indicate attraction, especially when films are depicting the actual act of intimacy. Oh my God. When it comes to your interactions with one another, I suggest you just stop thinking about it visually, okay? You need to literally feel it. Feel the attraction that you have for one another. It becomes an actual tangible thing once you tune in. Now, there are fortunately and unfortunately substances that we take that can artificially simulate that attraction. This is where I kind of want to sidecar into alcohol and substances. Alcohol, marijuana, and Molly are the most common drugs people associate with intimate experiences. Hookup culture is practically dependent on alcohol, and I don't condone that at all. Molly and marijuana are also substances of choice for these encounters. First of all, not necessarily the drugs everyone wants to take to have an intimate experience. But unfortunately, we're told that Molly is the love drug and that marijuana makes intimacy feel better. We're literally programmed to react a certain way, and we're programmed to think that the activity you should do, that you should participate in on these drugs is intimacy. When in fact, maybe you just want to sit there, hold hands, and listen to some music. There is nothing worse than being under the influence and somebody actually thinks that there's something going on between the two of you because you're under the influence, so they come on to you and you don't know what to do. Alcohol seriously needs to be unlinked from the intimate experience as much as possible. I think alcohol is beneficial for those first time moments to break the ice, but I only suggest alcohol in that way for someone who is very certain of their attraction for another person. Way too many of us have gotten intimate with somebody because we were drunk and they were there. Alcohol also considerably reduces sensation all over your body. The best intimacy is sober, where you feel everything. And when it comes to Molly and marijuana making intimacy feel better, not everyone deals with those drugs very well, and not everyone is aroused when taking them. So keep that in mind. You don't automatically get aroused because you took Molly or because you smoked a joint and you're with your significant other or your hookup. And I know that sounds like common sense, but when you hear these rumors about substances like that, people take them to initiate intimate experiences. And that is a recipe for disaster. Being on those substances makes it more difficult for you to express your true feelings about in advance. So if you do want to take them, please take them with someone you trust. And the best way, in my opinion, to be sure if you actually want to get intimate with somebody is to see if you're still attracted to them when you're sober. End of story. Simple and clean. Listen to your body. Take your time. Be sure. Be absolutely fucking stoked before you get intimate with somebody. Okay? And last but not least, this is important. I've been talking about hookup culture this whole time, but this is equally, if not more important to understand when you are in a long-term relationship with somebody. You still do not owe anyone anything. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a situation with somebody that I was dating that I got intimate with them because I thought it was what I had to do. And I'm going to make that very clear because a man actually had to remind me of this. Doesn't matter what the situation is. If you're on a time constraint and you feel you need to get it out before you go, whatever, only do it if you're really into it. If you're in a relationship or not with somebody. It took me years to realize that. Okay? So that's for all of my long-term relationship people. So now we're on to the next thing. The second most common thing that I hear is women dress and manicure themselves in a certain way only when they anticipate they will be getting laid. Wrong. You don't shave your legs or other parts or put on makeup or lingerie because tonight or tomorrow you're going to be intimate with somebody. You should be doing that shit all the time for you. Intimacy at its best also doesn't have a timeline and is supposed to be unexpected in the best ways. If you aren't up to par for your lover because you don't care to manicure yourself, then you should care. I hear girls say, this is what made me write about this. I hear girls say, I wasn't shaved or I had ugly underwear on. First of all, why do you have ugly underwear? There's plenty of nice panties you can wear that are comfortable, all right? And if your panties are old or pilly or whatever, please throw them away. And if you feel so compelled, I just have to say this, if you feel so compelled to note when you're talking to your girlfriends or whatever that you didn't shave, then that's obviously a problem with you. If you don't want to be caught off guard, always be ready. If you don't care to be ready, then accept that about yourself and don't fixate on it. Don't feel bad about it then. And plus, most sensible men really don't care. They just don't. You should look sexy for yourself because it makes you feel good, because you're honoring your womanhood through those rituals, not because a man is about to see you. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Doing anything especially for a man and only doing it when men are around or you will be around men shows a lot more respect for them than it does for you. Point blank. There isn't really too much more to explain on that. If you do want a little bit more of an in-depth conversation on that, I do have a video called Self-Seduction, and it will be in a card above if you would like to watch it. This is the end of part 1. I really hope that with this 2-part series, I can stress really simple but obvious things that make a world of difference in our personal lives. Life is way too short to minimize your experiences. Intimacy is sacred. I mean that, sacred. Ancient civilizations understood that with discipline and education, intimacy can be transcendent. Pleasure shared between two people should be carefully cultivated. And as human beings, we are more than equipped with artillery to make intimacy more than just a hookup. And I'd like to explain that a little bit more in part 2. Intimacy is capable of providing pleasure that is mental as well as physical. And as something just so readily available, indispensable, and inexhaustible, intimacy deserves more contemplation, I think. deserves more than a swipe or pass or whatever the hell. I don't use those apps. We are all so in a hurry to get things done and over with and on to the next that we miss out on the potential for the greatest moments of our lives. Please just do not miss out on the potential for real intimacy with somebody. That's what I feel that I need to share with you all. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Let me know if you like this video, if you found it helpful. Let us know what your experiences are in the comments, of course. And I hope to see you guys back for part 2. Bye-bye.